Well, it's really hard to make a Sweet 16, and I think, you know, tonight showed why. Um, SC is a very well coached team, and they have some incredible athletes. And even when we were up, by a lot, it never felt like it was safe. Um, and I thought tonight was just an incredible defensive battle. I think the fans that were here got to see some very high-level defensive plays. And that was from the first point. You could see that it was going to be that type of game. And I think we just were not patient in those rallies and made too many errors in the first two sets. But I thought we, in sets 3 and 4, really kind of found our groove offensively. Maybe never quite got there in serve receive, but they pushed us to the limit, and I'm proud of my group for finding a way.
Coach, you also talk about how this was a defensive battle. It seems like once you guys started to get your block going in that second set, the momentum started to change. Did you see that as well?
Well, I think probably that streak where Olivia got a couple in a row, that didn't hurt. But I thought not just the block, but I thought our back row defense was great, and so was theirs. There was, too many rallies to even remember.
You talked yesterday about how you didn't know how you guys were going to slow down Skylar Fields, and this was the first time she had double-digit attack errors since about October. So, how do you feel like you guys handle that? Were you happy overall with the kind of pressure you're able to put on her?
I would say so. Slow her down. She still had 21 kills. But that's what it is, right? She normally hits over 300. We held her to 200, and she made a few errors, and we were able to make her uncomfortable. And they made the switch in the fourth set so that she was matched up against Rachel, and we still found a way, even there, to slow her down at times. But she's not the kind of player you can really stop.
Coach, do you think there's any advantage of playing this good of a team this early though?
I wouldn't. I didn't like the draw, but that's kind of what I said leading up. I think we are. I think the next. Every game has its own story, but they just played. Washington State a couple weeks ago, and it was a 5-setter, and it was down to the wire, and so I think it's going to be we're well set up for the next couple rounds to be used to playing good teams.
Olivia, obviously the double-double, but you also set a career high in assists and digs, just a very well-rounded game for you. What do you think it was just lighting up for you tonight? I know you like big games, but what was going through your head?
I think midway through, I got really pissed off because I started to think about how important this was. Obviously we went into this game of it being important, but I feel like the more I thought about it as the game progressed, I was like, wow, this is every game from this point on is season ending. So that's when I was like, I have to obviously just go out and do my thing, because I know that when I'm on my game, it tends to reflect on everyone else. So I feel like we all pick each other up. So, one person's on their game, everyone else starts to get on their game. So I feel like it just needed to flip, and I think it did.
And Torrey, as the season has gone on, really towards this tail end of the season, we've really seen you just be such a well-rounded defensive and offensive player. How important is that, especially as you guys are, like Olivia said, playing, every game is a season-ending game?
Defensively, I think the first touch is really important. So serve receive, I've been working really hard to get a good ball to Rachel so she can set all our hitters up. And I think that as the season progressed, I'm just going for big rips and swinging high and hard. So.
There's the back two sets, the third and the fourth. You guys started a lot better than you did in the first two sets. What did you notice between the first two sets and the last two sets that you guys started a little better on?
Yeah, we just kept the pressure on them. We made a bunch of errors the first two sets, and I think we had 8 errors the first set, 7, then 1 in the third, 5 in the fourth. So we kept the pressure on them much better, and there just seemed to be more. Rachel did a good job of exploring some matchups, but there just seemed to be more patience from our hitters, that we weren't just pressing to get to one swing they didn't rally.
Olivia and Torrey, you guys obviously grew up in California. Do you have any ties to this USC team? Were you recruited at all? What was it like just getting to play them?
I know so many of the girls on the team.
Yeah, we know like half the team.
So we're
it was
really
weird.
familiar with them. I think going in, we kind of had. I mean, we were preparing for Skylar a lot, but I think on the other girls, we had a good perception of like their play as players. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of felt like I was back home playing just a club scrimmage at first because I was like, wow, like this is just everyone I've seen at home. So it was weird, but I actually really enjoyed it. I like playing people I know. It's a good rivalry, so it was fun.
And Olivia, they battled back to tie at 14 there in the fourth set. What were you guys able to do to lock things in and kind of take control from that point moving forward?
Well, I do not exactly remember that. But is this when you called a timeout?
Well, they came back and tied it up at 14-all, and then we went on.
6-0.
They won a 6-0 run, and then we went right back, and Valeria went on a long run, and we were really able to get them uncomfortable and serve receive, and I think that helped set up our defense.
Yeah, I also think it was Rachel. Rachel definitely played a huge part in like us flipping the switch. Like she would just tell us what we needed to hear. She'd be like, "Guys, like let's go." And like I don't know, something about Rachel's energy. If she says "let's go," let's flip the switch.
Let's
like
go.
let's go. Like, yeah.
Speaking of Rachel, 41 assists for her tonight. That's the best for her in the NCAA tournament. What does it mean to have her playing at her best this late in the season?
Yeah, I think she's one of the best setters in the country, and not only at setting, but she's a great defender and a great server, and she can put pressure on the team in multiple ways, and so we're glad she's on our team.
Olivia and Torrey, this is obviously your guys' first NCAA tournament. What would you say the similarities between some of the bigger games you played this year and the games you're playing right now?
I think it's more the pressure. Like you lose, you go home. So I feel like it's similar in the way that big moment. We're in the Pitt, a lot of fans, but I think it's just more of like we have to win so we can keep on going for the championship.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I think energy-wise, it's probably the same, like with the crowd, like the energy they're giving. But I think we all know it's for a bigger cause than it was in season. Of course, that was really important because we wanted to get ACC champs. But I'm gonna have to say this might be a little more important than that. So,
For sure.
yeah.
Sorry, I feel like in all the bigger games, you're always stepping up, playing your best. Is there something about the big games that make you be at your top of your game?
How'd you know? Yeah, I mean, I love the crowd. I love all of the vibe of a big game just really pumps me up. So
Did your sister get to stay and watch today?
no, but she was watching on the phone for sure.
Coach, Emma Monks with 8 blocks. I'm pretty sure that leads you guys in the NCAA tournament for most blocks. Can you just speak about her performance tonight?
What I'll say is I think she stuck with it. I mean, she was not playing her best in the first 2 sets, and then we just kept going to her. Her offense got better, and she certainly came up with some big block assists.
Coach, Logan, you put her in in the 5th set, and like Mia, she was struggling we were struggling against Mia, and like you putting her in. What does that say to like Logan being able to step up in a big moment?
Well, that's something. She's one of our best passers and defenders, no question. And I think she's really gotten. In the last month, she's gotten good, like in that coming off the bench role. I mean, she's used to being in there all the time and regular in a rotation, but I think we definitely just saw it against Louisville, where she came in and was almost had passed a perfect game, and so yeah, we expect that she can do it, and she's been providing a big lift.
Coach, you've talked about momentum in the crowd a lot this season, but how big was it to have them cheering every defensive play? Like they were very loud, specifically when you guys were receiving the serve.
Yeah, I loved the crowd tonight. Definitely. As amazing as the Louisville crowd was, I could tell there's a few more students tonight, and so there was a little bit of student energy so it felt like the zoo at times, and we loved it. So thank you.
One more question. So in the Coppin State game, similar to today, you kind of struggled more in the beginning of the set. Do you think it's more nerves in the NCAA or being back to the P? And then how do you plan on later this week overcoming that?
I do think we were a little too juiced. But I do also think it will help to be back in the field house. I'll say this: I think both, everyone's feeling it. It's just how we deal with it, and we want the nerves. We embrace that. We just don't want it to turn into a bunch of unforced errors.
Is having dropped a first set and facing some adversity, and similar to Louisville against Western Michigan, is that an advantage versus advancing in 2 matches in straight sets?
I think being in close sets is an advantage. So I think, I think pulling through the second one helps your confidence. I think overcoming a set you could have won helps, and that we're going to continue to have deuce sets as we make this run, and so being in those moments matters. Yeah, I think it's an advantage.
What have you seen in these 2 matches that would prevent you from winning the next one, obviously going on the Elite Eight?
I don't think there's anything that would prevent us. I think when we're playing our best, we're pretty scary. So we'll have a good game plan, and but a lot of our focus is just on us, on our side.
Any last questions for coach or student athletes?
Yeah. So I think one of their biggest problems was that they used their challenges too soon, too early. I think we had a couple on that we could have challenged, but I think you were smart about it. How do you gauge what to challenge and what not to?
There's one we probably could have won, but we were up by 9 points at that moment. That's with only 2. It's hard to use them early unless you're pretty convinced. And so we had one left in case we needed it, but and also if even the inconclusives, we don't get back. So we need to be pretty sure. And so yeah, I think there were a couple balls. You're probably right that at the end they were out of challenges that they maybe could have taken a look at.
Is it more trust in players or coaches to challenge that stuff?
It depends on the player. I have certain players that I trust tremendously, and then I have others that sometimes have a tendency to see with their heart.
So what about Torrey?
Yeah, do you trust? I feel like he thinks I see with my heart. How do you know that play in the first set was in? They scammed me. We did challenge it though, when they called it out. So
I want to see that one again. I thought it was in 2, but I didn't have the best angle. But no, let me say this without sounding condescending. They are, for their age, very good at because there is a maturity that comes with it. Typically, our older players are giving me the look.
All right, last question. Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
thank you.